Oh God, I'm laughing already. Hello, welcome. I'm laughing because how many times have I tried to make this video? I know it's Mercury retrograde, but it's so funny. I've had so many things the most powerful thing that's made me have to stop is myself, because I've been going on political rants and I've had to stop and start again, because it's like people don't want to hear your political rant, Diane. They just want to see what the tarot cards say. Oh God! I've put one card down and had a rant and then had to stop. So let me start again. I only know this first card because that's all I've turned over. Okay. So the first card that comes out in this reading, okay, this reading comes from a subscriber. It's about would America nudge NATO into forcing Russia into war? I don't think anyone would force Russia into war, but would America kind of get NATO going on the job? They've I can't go on that rant again. Okay, so that's the question. And this is the first card that comes up, the Significator. The Lovers is about relationships, relating. It's about two opposing factors coming together. You have to ask yourself, what is the motivation of the relationship? What's each person bringing? What is the joint motivation? And it's a card of, like I say, relating, bringing stuff together. Are people on the same page? What is the reason for relating? It is a card of marriage and birth and stuff, but it can also represent healthy ending of relationships, depending on what cards surround it. So this is the Significator, relationships. It must be the relationship between NATO and America, and who's pulling the strings? Who pays for it all? Who pays for all this war? Who pays for the munitions? Who's paid for all the stuff that went to Ukraine? Who would pay for all the stuff that would be in Ukraine is attacking Russia? So it's like, as they say, always follow the money. Where is the money coming from? And you'll find the people who really enjoy making profit from war. So, the Lovers is an interesting card to start off with. Okay, let's see what's crossing the Lovers and this relationship. What's coming? Okay, so we've got the Eight of Wands, which is a card of swift movement, swift activity. Things are moving quickly. So you have these two cards, the Lovers and things moving quickly. Well, what's moving quickly? What decision are they coming to? The relationships good relationships are about communication and, listening to each other. And then this Wands is like, okay, there's a flurry of activity. There's a speeding up of activity. Things are moving quickly. Well, what things? Let's see. What's the overarching card? Okay. The overarching card is the Sword of Truth and Justice. Okay, so that's quite interesting to have over the Lovers. Now, some people would see an ace and go, yes, the answer is yes. And I sometimes use that when I'm doing simple yes or no answers in readings. Aces are yes. But we have to look at the whole picture here, and I'm not doing a simple yes or no reading. So the Ace of Swords is, again, the realm of the mind, the overarching card here, the Ace of Swords being, there's a lot of thinking about it, there's a lot of ideas about it. It is a divine sword of, like I say, justice and truth and getting on with things, cutting through the extraneous material, the thoughts and the kind of plans. It's kind of new ideas, thinking about strategy, and a lot of, I would say with this, it's like talking about war, maybe planning war, but it's all in the mind kind of thing, if you know what I mean. It's kind of it's like fantasizing about war and fantasizing about whatever they fantasize about, and taking Russia to war. I don't think that's a good idea myself. It's like from Diane. Don't start. I don't want to start this video again. Okay, so the overarching. Let's see what's at the root of the decision. Oh, okay. Well, yes. Okay. So the root of the question here is the Two of Swords reversed. And the Two of Swords, so when the Two of Swords is upright, it's a person who doesn't want to make a decision, okay, and is kind of, blindfolded and is just sitting there like going, no, I don't want to think about it, I don't want to face it, I don't want to look at it, I don't want to face that, okay. Now that's quite good, isn't it? I don't want to face that. When it's reversed, it's a sign of just don't do anything, don't stop, don't, it's like stop don't make a decision. You're almost like incapable of making a decision. When it's like this, it's like, it's there, but you don't want to look at it and you don't want to face it. This is almost like you can't even accept and acknowledge there are things. It's just like stop. You don't know, you haven't got enough information, you don't know what's going on. Just stop it, leave it alone, come back to it. So that's quite interesting. Ace of Swords and then the Two of Swords. Okay, so the Ace has come into a duality which is reversed. It's like these ideas are not to be kind of entertained. That's what I would kind of get. The Two of Swords on its head reversed. Okay, what's in the past? Okay, in the past you've got the Ace of Wands. I always mean to say this, and I've actually remembered it now. The way I do my Celtic cross is a little bit different, just because of how I started it when I was younger, and I kind of liked the kind of way of putting the past card on the right hand side of the crossing card, whereas most people would put it on the left. So if you ever see my photographs and you think that doesn't quite make sense, that's why. So the Ace of Wands in the past, power, upright, staff of whoa, you got that people often say it's a thumbs up card. It's like, yes, let's go for it because of that thumb, that divine thumb coming up. It's fire, it's action, it's getting on with it, it's pushing forward, it's driving, it's motivating. It's got an idea, it's all fired up and it wants to get things into play. That would kind of make sense. And regarding the Two of Swords, that would make sense. Maybe there's been a lot of talk about, NATO and the US wanting to kind of step on the toes of Russia, let alone poke the bear. And in the past, maybe it was a bit gung-ho, and I don't know. I know men are wired in a certain way and they've got all those hormones kind of rushing around that make them want to joust and kind of sword fight on a Sunday afternoon, and or modern day race cars and do battle online, war games online, all that kind of stuff. I know men have got that testosterone and they are born protectors and stuff. I get it, but there's so many great ways to protect humanity, nations, your community than killing people. So that's in the past. What's in the future? So I think in the past they were all like, "Yay! We're all queuing up to kind of get Russia." And why? I wonder why. I wonder if it's because Russia's such a massive place and it's abundant and it's kind of still got moral fortitude, and America's gone a little bit down a slippery slope regarding. It's gone like it's got the inversion. In certain kinds of ways of life, they invert the good, and it's a whole way of a shadow, darkness, dark entities inverting goodness, inverting love, inverting balance and harmony. It's quite an interesting thing. So what's in the future? Okay, very interesting. Okay, so in the future position we have got the King of Pentacles reversed. This makes sense to me, and I wonder if it does for those of you who like the tarot and know about the tarot. Even if you don't, okay, upright, the King of Pentacles is, He's a king, he's authoritative, he is moral, he is kind of there for people, he's an example of good. He's a businessman, he's good with money, he's kind of reliable. He's got money and he's kind of good with money. He can advise other people with money. He's the king of pentacle, of earth, of not just money, of what do you call it? Goods and material possessions. It's also about health. It's about being the king and authority of your own health and wealth. Yeah, that's it. Being the authority of your health and wealth. I like that. So what do you think happens when it's reversed? It's kind of everything of the opposite. It is moral decline, moral decay, not being an upstanding, authoritative figure, being kind of weakened, losing your money, losing your wealth and health. It's about just not being able to represent the way that your potential showed. It's loss of money, it's loss of possessions, it's mismanagement of money, it's mismanagement of power. Okay, so that's quite interesting. Mismanagement of power. So you've got NATO, and you've got, I tell you what comes up for me when I see that. People aren't all on board, right? People aren't all together. This lovers card, they're not all together. They don't agree. Because there must be some people in and amongst the NATO countries that just think, I don't want a war. I don't want to pay for it. I don't want the death. I don't want the responsibility. I don't want the, I don't want that on my shoulders. I don't want to be part of a decision to send lots of young people to war, even if it's drones or whatever. I don't want that, And Goddess bless those people that think that, because someone somewhere has got to get out of this habit that's been going on for centuries with these wars and killings and stuff. There's got to be someone that just goes, no. And if there's some of the NATO countries that just go, no, we're not having it. We're not interested in that. We don't support that. I'm not interested. Then, good for them. That's the way forward. Things have got to change. This eclipse is like things have got to change. It's new beginnings, new ways of looking at things, new ways of peace talking, peacemaking, acceptance, tolerance, new ways, not sitting on people's doorsteps and threatening, their end, threatening to kill and destroy their home. You can't do that. And, no country would like that, let alone half of the world ganging up on you because of who knows what. And you know what's interesting? I will say this because it's only quick. Isn't it interesting how people were up in arms with Russia defending its own borders against Ukraine? Even though if you believe it and you know about it, Ukraine kind of started it all off in 2014. Ukraine were the initial instigators, evidently. I try and do my research, Yet what's happening in Israel and Gaza is just like, no, that's fine. No. If Vladimir Putin does it, it's a terrible atrocity and he should be killed, according to people like Lindsey Graham in America. But if Netanyahu does it and commits acts of genocide and kills a whole bunch of people purposefully, that's fine. That's just fine. What is that about? Well, I'm sure you know what it's about when you see who are the big lobbyists in America. Anyway, Diane, let's just carry on. It's not Americans or, it's just people in powerful positions making certain decisions. Okay. Where does America in NATO find itself? Oh, well, God, that just makes so much sense. That's just what I've just been saying. Okay, the Emperor upright is strength. Again, it's a bit like the king here, strength, the ability to make laws and make laws stick, making moral laws, good laws, just laws. The Emperor rules with hopefully intelligence and wisdom and, fairness. Okay, so when it's reversed, you've got, a bit of chaos. You've got, again, people not leading. It's like it's the emperor's turned on its head. There's like headless chickens running around. There's weak leadership. That's what it is. Weak leadership. It's just weak. There's kind of, I would say, non-intelligent decisions, poor decision making, poor intellect, poor EQ definitely. There's very low emotional quotient in a lot of these leaders, and spiritual quotient, as we know. So where do they find themselves? Like on their heads, turned upside down, with no kind of balanced leadership, no balanced, intelligent kind of person sitting there going, of course we don't want a war. Of course we don't want to go to war with Russia. Crikey, let's sort our own countries out. Let's get our own countries full and healthy and employment up, and let's manufacture stuff in our own country. I don't understand that either. Why don't people make their own stuff in their own countries? I don't get why. I remember once finding out that the waterways in England, and the actual water that goes through your taps, was run by a French company. It's like, why isn't England just managing its own water? I just never got it. It's probably why I never went into economics, and I'm doing this. Okay, how do other people see this? How do other people see NATO and America, kind of saber rattling towards Russia? Ten of Cups reversed. Okay, so normally the Ten of Cups upright is happy endings, everything's going well. Through trial and tribulation, there comes a great satisfaction. All the cups are full. There's a great delight, great satisfaction sitting with. So it's not the Ten of Cups; it's the Nine of Cups. So it's that kind of feeling of it's almost done. Okay, sorry, I thought it was the 10. So the Nine of Cups. So he's doing all right. Look at all the things that he's accrued. He's feeling quite happy with himself, and he's kind of counting his little pennies, and he's like, "Yay, look at that." But as you can see, there's always something with the nines. There's often something a little bit. Look at his face. There's something not quite right, even though it is still a card of, great satisfaction and things coming together, hard work, hard labour of an emotional type and creative type. And then you turn it on its head. How do other people see NATO and America? It's like they're kind of lost the plot. They've lost the emotional kinds of balance. They've lost the will to do the right thing. Because it's emotions, doing the right thing, full of creativity. It's not creative. What's the opposite of creating? It's deconstructing. So other people can see NATO and America as being deconstructive to the world. It's falling out, the cups reversed. It's all falling out. All that has been worked on with America and NATO, everything that they've worked for and everything that they've accrued regarding kind of emotional intelligence and creative pursuits, other people, excuse me, from the world could be looking in and going, what is wrong with these people? You've got the Emperor reversed, and then you've got the Nine of Cups reversed, and it's like, what is wrong? It's like, this is just, this isn't right. This doesn't feel right for the Nine of Cups to be turned on its head, for all those cups that have been full with good times and good fun and lovely times of laughter and emotive positivity, turning to emotive despair, emotive worry. Okay, too much worry, too much kind of, just too much kind of, the word is, it's not insecurity, but feeling not secure. Everything's turned upside down. What's the hope and fears here? Okay, the hopes and fears. That's a bit of a weird card for hopes and fears regarding a question about the USA and NATO. The page of wands, so wands, fire, and page. One word I like for page is naivety. Okay, they're just getting their feet on the ground. They're just understanding the concept. So wands, it's like it's an idea. So the hopes and fears are a kind of like a germination of an idea, a new plan. That's quite good to hear. A new plan, a new way of doing things. Unless it's a new way of attack, it doesn't feel like that because it's naive. Okay, a new way of going forward, a new way of looking at things, a new kind of, a little kernel. It's like a little shoot coming up in spring that's going, okay, I'm a new little flower here, and what should we do? So that's quite interesting. Let's see what the crowning card is. Is America going to nudge NATO to attack Russia? What's the outcome? Oh, okay. That's quite interesting. So, we have the Empress. Look at her. All fecund and fertile and full of growth and luxury and wonderment. Doesn't she look plumpalicious? Ready for the ravishing. The Empress, the mother, fertility. Okay, what would you think about that? Regarding that question, the mother figure, the Empress comes in. I wonder if there's going to be a woman type figure that comes in and starts speaking some truth, or starts just putting that female energy of, let's just go and have a cup of tea, shall we? And there's some nice cake. I'll make some scones and we'll sit down. People would just like be horrified that I said that, wouldn't they? Like it was in the old days. Talk, women talk, you see. Women are very good at talking. They can also be terribly unkind to each other and everybody else. But this is not the Empress. The Empress is beautiful. Venus, look, on her little shield there. It's a Venusian Empress. What is Venus? It's love. It's fertility. You know, this thing in the background that looks like the classic pineal gland thing that you get. It's that ancient knowing, wisdom, spiritual wisdom. Okay, I would have to say, regarding the question, no. I don't think America is going to do that. I think there's an understanding somewhere from the lovers. I don't think everyone's on board. I mean, with this ace, you know, people would also say yes. Aces can mean yes. Are they going to nudge? You know what? If I was going to have another little think about this, maybe the overarching card being the Ace of Swords, you know, America might go, yes, come on, NATO, we're going to go forward and we're going to spend the next 10 years fighting Russia. Maybe America have said that, but the relationship between them and NATO is just like, no, we're not doing that. So maybe America said yes, and NATO have gone, no. But this card is quite interesting regarding things quickening up. So, I mean, and this, of course, in the past, maybe they said yes in the past, let's do it, let's attack Russia. And then they kind of think better of it. They sometimes have have some kind of intelligent moment and go, who would want to attack Russia, for goodness sake? Who would want to start a war in 2024? Oh, crikey. You know, we should be lovers by now, shouldn't we? It should be the peace bit, war and peace. We should be in the peaceful, higher echelons, higher mind. We should be kind of way past war. And if Russia's got something that America wants, well, you know, negotiate it. And if NATO's got something that America wants, well, you know, America's probably already got it. I did quite well then to keep my politics right down. Anyway, so looking at that and the question, thank you so much, subscriber, for that question. Very interesting question. And what I like, it's not like the Tower and death and the end of stuff, and the the kind of or the Eight of Swords or the Three of Swords, like poor old Catherine, Princess of Wales, as I got reminded of, it's much more kind of balanced, and these reversals of the King of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Nine of Cups, and the and the Two of Swords is just like, okay, there's something that there's. I get the feeling there's someone somewhere with some intelligence, and it's interesting, this female figure. It doesn't have to be a woman, but it's a person who is mothers, as in that Empress, bring things together. The Empress is like the kind of person that is magnetic and charismatic and brings things together. And I don't feel like that is bringing things, bringing a warring, bloodthirsty faction of people who want what Russia have got.